Hello and welcome to today's Pick a Card. We are exploring what's ahead. So we're going to be doing a pile that I like to call Next Episode. So we're going to take a look at what is the next major development headed your way. For that, I have prepared 3 piles with some oracle cards and advice cards, and then we'll pull the tarot during the reading. So take a moment to see which color calls to you. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Let me give you a close-up. Pile number 1 is, let's focus. There we go. It is Fresh Hyacinth, Rosalind's Periwinkle Blue, and Blue Phlox. So it's kind of like lavender blue tones. Pile number 2 is very bright greens. Window Garden Green, Fresh Arboretum Green, and Frosted Lime at the bottom. And then pile number 3 is Pumpkin Patch. Come on. Focus is a little lazy today. Pumpkin Patch, Desert Orange, and Fiery Orange at the bottom. So take a moment, take these colors in, and see which pile calls to you. And timestamps are in the description below, and I will meet you at your pile. Pile number 1, this is your reading if you chose the Fresh Hyacinth. Just throwing out some numbers I'm seeing 28, 54, 49, 33. Just in case anybody has some synchronicities with numbers. Okay, so we're gonna set these aside for now. Leave this right here so you know you're in the right pile. And we're going to start pulling some tarot cards. So this spread I call Next Episode. So we take a look at kind of as if your life was a TV show, and we want to take a peek at what happens in the next episode. So we're going to start off with your energy right now, your current energy, and then we head on right into the episode. Okay. And then lastly, we're pulling one card to see your energy at the end of this episode. Your energy at the end of this. Oh. It makes sense that it went flying, because there's a very eager energy here. Okay, so I'm seeing that right now it feels like you are pretty motivated about something. There's something that you are possibly wanting to pursue, and I think you're kind of keeping it close to the chest. Like there's something that is kind of piquing your interest, and it's something that you are wanting to develop, and it's getting you motivated, and it's like it feels like you don't want to get too invested. Like, you want things to work out, but you also don't want to get too invested. It feels like keeping it close to your chest actually leads you to get somewhat more invested. So it feels like keeping this like on the down low actually just gets you more fired up. And then we reach this high point where for some reason you're feeling really defensive. And it almost feels like that might happen because you're kind of keeping a lid on it, and then it's like you're battling either other people's opinions and they don't even know that they're like stepping on your toes because it's something that you kind of are keeping away from people. So they might not even know that they're stepping on your toes, or it might be that all of a sudden your ideas are starting to conflict with each other, your plans, and it's like you're motivated, but things are the way they're developing, they kind of end up all over the place. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune here, meaning that there's going to be some kind of fated development with this. But we don't have this at the highest point. The highest point is like the turning point of this episode. And it not coming at the highest point feels to me like this isn't something that's gonna like change everything. This is more, it's a more subtle external influence. And it's gonna bring you some peace. We have the Lovers here. This doesn't need to be a romantic situation. Honestly, I feel very much like this is kind of like a personal development or business situation, or something where you're really trying to figure something out, and there's like something's gonna click, and once it clicks, you're able to harmonize. But you're able to harmonize a lot more. But I think in this process, when the defensiveness kicks in and something clicks, I think in this process there's something that was part of your motivation that you need to release, that isn't going to move with you. We have the Five of Cups as your energy at the end of this, which is kind of like a downer card if you look at it at first glance, right? You have the 3 cups that are spilled, but it's always important to remember that there's 2 cups. So it feels like you had a lot of ideas, and like a few of those didn't turn out, and you're gonna be sort of focused on those ideas that didn't work out when there's 2 cups standing here, meaning there's something that is harmonizing, because 2 is number of harmony. There is something that you have set in motion that is harmonizing, and that I believe will work in your favor. So I think that's really beautiful. I think I want to see if we can get some clarification on this 7 of Wands. Okay, yeah, it feels like there's a need for cutting out some of these. There also might be some distractions. like you're feeling motivated in a sense, and then there's some distractions that really need to be cut out so that you can move forward. Let's take a look at the Lovers. Yeah, there's something that's really gonna work well, like something is really gonna harmonize, and it's gonna bring you a lot of fulfillment, and it's gonna make you really proud. So let's see why at the end you're so focused on You know what? I saw at the end, at the bottom of the deck, I didn't point it out, but at the bottom of the deck at the end of pulling the first selection of cards, we have the Five of Wands. It might be, the Three of Swords. It might be that there is some type of competition, there's some type of conflict, and this might relate back to having to be really kind of stern and cut out the opinions of other people, and maybe this is why you tried to keep it close. Perhaps you didn't actually keep it so close to your chest, but it is something that you're actually very emotionally invested in. So it might be something that you're really fired up about and really emotionally invested, and once other people like heard about it and offered their opinions, it kind of, you might not have been ready for feedback, or you might not have been ready for critiques, or you might have just not asked for feedback or critique. And it feels like we have the Hermit and the Three of Swords. So it feels like kind of like going on your own and following your own intuition. Let's get one for the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, following your intuition. So it's like, it feels like somebody was telling you their peace of mind, but spirit, your intuition, your higher self, they're telling you to listen, to seek your own counsel, telling you to listen to your own inner guidance. And this really brings into balance your masculine and feminine energy, because your masculine energy is the part within you that wants to act, that does act, and the feminine energy within you is the part that listens to your intuition and that kind of guides the masculine energy. So having those two energies harmonize within you leads you to following your desires and achieving, but it feels like within that process you become sad over missed opportunities. I'm hearing like spilled drinks, not necessarily spilled milk, but spilled drinks, like, and I'm getting this image of like wanting to cheers with your friends and not being able to, kind of like standing at the end of this, standing alone. And again, I just split the deck just like this, and the Five of Wands came out, and it feels like because you're not necessarily supported by friends or family, or at least not feeling supported, and it pains you. Whoa. And I wanted to get one last card for this row because it's so sad in a way. And then the Fool comes out, and so this is gonna create a new cycle for you. Yeah, you're gonna walk away from the things and people and groups and influences that don't support you, because I think you're very right in following your intuition, and following the things that you're passionate about. And whoever cannot support you on that way is not meant to be with you on that path. And having the High Priestess and the Hermit card means that you are on a very personal path right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at your oracle cards and see what advice we get from that. Release fear. So this card is asking you to release having, I'm feeling drawn to say having a backup plan, but I mean, it's always good to have a backup plan. Like, that's not quite what they mean. Releasing the fear of not being able to do it on your own. Releasing, and also releasing the fear of stigma is what I'm hearing. And there's something about coming out of the dark, which kind of correlates with this moon card, like bringing out whatever it is that you that you're passionate about, and releasing the fear of who's going to fall away because of that. Because whoever's going to fall away, what good are they to you? You know? And then we have Be Here Now. Number 2, again, about harmony. Be Here Now is asking you to not think about, when I make this decision, who's going to react how, but it's asking you to be in a state of action, to be in your masculine energy while you're honoring your feminine energy. I'm going to pull one of these emotional cards and see what kind of blocks we might have. Discomfort. So one of the blocks that you have is just this idea of, this card is discomfort. The Seven of Wands is definitely like an uncomfortable position. It's feeling like, you know, everybody else is kind of against you and you're standing there on your own fighting this battle. That is incredibly uncomfortable. But discomfort is necessary to break out of this motivation that you have, like this energy. This energy is a push energy, and it needs to go somewhere. If you don't release it, it's going to go inwards and you're going to implode. This energy is expansive. It needs to go somewhere. And so I'd rather have you let it go outward than keeping it inside and become destructive. And it might feel, if you release it, it might feel like it's going to become destructive to you, to your environment, but it's more so that it's going to be reconstructive. Like it's like demolition day, so that you can build whatever is next for you. And at the bottom of the deck we have passion, which is definitely, there's something you're very passionate about, and I think you're holding back on it because you're considering a lot of other people or a lot of other things, and ultimately you're not, this energy is already within you, so you're not going to be able to hold it back much longer. It's gonna spill. So this reading is really just trying to confirm to you, like, when you let it spill, when you let that energy expand, it might not feel as amazing as you'd want it to, but that doesn't mean that it was the wrong move. That doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't what you're supposed to be doing. Let's get one of these. oracles. Hoist up your sails. Do not fear the ocean of the unknown. Eternity begins and ends with the ocean's tides. That is a beautiful match for this reading. Because again, we have the ask to release fear and to hoist up your sails, which is very much the Fool card. Setting off to a new journey, even though you don't quite know what's coming. Eternity begins and ends with the ocean's tides, which means that sometimes there will be support, sometimes you're doing it on your own. Sometimes you'll have steady waters, and sometimes you'll have rough waters, but you can't sit in the same spot. It's impossible. Okay, that was your next episode. I hope that was helpful. I hope that this prepares you and or confirms some things for you. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope I get to read for you again sometime. Good luck. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this window garden green, frosted lime, these fresh green spring colors, this is your reading. We're going to set this up here for now and pull some tarot cards. So this reading is your next episode. So we're taking a look at your life as if it was a TV show, for example. And we're gonna take a peek at your next upcoming episode. So let's take a look first at your current energy. What is your current energy? And then we get right into the episode. Okay. Starting off harsh. Taking a turn. Interesting. Wow. This is like a season finale. This is definitely a development. Okay, let's take a look at your energy at the end of this episode. Your energy at the end. Okay, I love this. This right here is a good story. So, we are starting off with the Five of Wands. We're looking here at conflict. Your current energy is conflict, confusion, possibly being sort of being distracted, being just kind of all over the place, having squirrel brain and just not being able to focus, having conflicting ideas. And we start off the episode with the Five of Coins, and this feels very hopeless and very kind of dreary, and feeling like you don't have what it takes to make this situation work. And yet the very next chapter is the Nine of Cups, which is a complete flip. It's pretty much the opposite. It's like this is feeling lack, and this is feeling fulfilled. This is the Nine of Cups is feeling like you've got your stuff together and you got everything you want. But the Five of Coins is a more material energy, And the Nine of Cups is a more emotional state. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight coming in with one pentacle and changing the entire game. So this looks to me like you're in a position of materially not being on your best game, and then turning things around through sheer belief. And I say this because we also have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. So this feels strongly like you're manifesting. You're manifesting like you're at this point of like not having what you need, and then you take a turn and are like, you know what? It's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of attitude. And so even though there's this turmoil and this harsh energy here, you make this decision to put your best foot forward, to feel good, and to focus on what is in your control, and to focus on what you do have, and then put all your, I want to say eggs in one basket, but putting all your energy and focusing on this whatever precious thing you do have, and that change in you brings a complete change in your situation, and you go from the Five of Wands to the Six of Wands, which is victory, which is cleaning up your act, which is getting all these things. So this is pure chaos. You know, everybody wants to have their opinion heard. Everybody wants to get their share. And this is one person having stepped forward and being able to create order, and everybody accepting what they say. So we go from this chaos to order, and in your energy at the end of this is absolutely like, yeah, I did that. I put down my foot and people listened to me. And this is sheer willpower. This is absolutely, somebody is manifesting, and you're doing it, I mean, it almost looks like you're doing it effortlessly. I'm going to take a moment to pull a couple clarifiers. It's super clear, but I just want to flesh out some of these details. Let's get the Five of Coins. Yeah, it's like something is not in balance, but at the same time, Spirit is like not necessarily concerned because they know that it's going to be balanced. This feels very like momentary, and there are things that are happening in the background to, Justice card at the bottom, to balance this situation. And what's really going to help this is your faith that this is in fact being, that things will unfold the way they're supposed to. Let's get one for the Nine of Cups. Yep, absolutely having faith in that justice will be served, that things will be balanced. This is the card of balanced give and take. Absolutely having faith that the universe has your back. This is awesome. This just flipped out. I don't know if you saw that, but it just completely flew out. This feels very much like planning, looking ahead, looking ahead, but not with fear, not from a place of anxiety, but looking ahead with this feeling of, I can make this work. And I want to see what this Death card is. The Ace of Cups. And again, we're having like this emotional aspect. It's your emotions, your faith, your belief, your intuition, this feeling, this inner feeling that you have that is going to really change your situation. The Six of Wands to the Three of Coins shows me that we're going from this disorganized situation to really working together, which is, see, that, I mean, this didn't really need a clarifier. It's exactly what I said earlier. It's just like things working out in a more organized way. And we have the Tower at the bottom of the deck. And the Two of Swords below that. So the Tower is not always a negative card. This feels like great impact from you trusting, making the decision to trust. That is amazing, and I feel like there's all this yellow here. Like it feels like this comes from like your solar plexus. This comes from trusting your instincts. It's a very like bold trust, which is beautiful. Psychic Eye. This is one of your oracle cards, Psychic Eye, which we have labradorite here, so that might be something you want to, a crystal you might want to consider. This feels very much like inner knowing that, yeah, things don't look great right now, but by the end of this episode, I will have control over this situation. This is an inner and psychic eye, having a lot to do again with intuition and emotions, which is cups and water, and just being really, really fine-tuned. You're very fine-tuned at this point in time. And I don't even think you're aware of how much you're manifesting intuitively. It doesn't feel like it's taking you that much effort. It's like a switch in your perspective, a switch in your faith, and then it just flows. It's like when you unclog a dam and there's like one thing that needs to be pulled out, and then all this water comes just like streaming down, and then it starts flowing and it takes out all the other debris with it. Relieve anxiety. So this card is reminding you that yes, this switch is something that you should focus on, and you don't need to live in a state of anxiety, which is that fear of the future. Because things are very, like, I totally see how this would cause anxiety. These energies are very tumultuous and concerning. So this can definitely cause anxiety, but Spirit is saying, like, no, it's okay to be present and to not let anxiety overcome you, because anxiety is going to keep that water, that dam, it's going to keep it shut. And we want that unplugged, right? So let's take a look at, I have some emotion cards. So let's take a look at something that may block you in this journey. Something to be aware of. Or just something, an emotion to focus on, so that you don't become blocked. Pride. pride. This feels like, I think sometimes people are a little bit prideful of asking for help, and so prideful that they won't even ask spirit, that they won't even ask the universe, because they think, oh, the universe isn't gonna come through for me, like it hasn't done this or hasn't done that. So that can hold people back at times. So make sure that whatever you do, you move with humility, you move with respect, and you move with gratitude. Especially once you have that one thing that it is that's going to motivate you to keep going. Focus on gratitude, and that's really going to create this switch for you. And also I'm hearing gratitude for yourself and for showing up. I'm gonna get one last oracle card, and we have Call on Archangel Jophiel. And this is beautiful because this is, again, we had all this yellow, and I mentioned solar plexus. Archangel Jophiel does work with your solar plexus, and yellow is like one of her signature colors. The Archangel of Beautiful Thoughts can help you think in enlightening ways. Beautiful thoughts meaning, things, focus on the positive. You might want to look into Archangel Jophiel. She is all about creating beauty and art, and I think there's a lot here, a lot of energy here that really complements her energy, and will bring you, like Archangel Jophiel, if there's any queen that she supports, look at the light shining right on her, spotlight. If there's any queen that Jophiel would support, it would be the Queen of Wands, for sure. A self-starter, like motivated to do it herself. It's a beautiful energy. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this prepares you in a sense and confirms some things. And thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. And I hope to read for you again. Good luck with this. Hey, Pile 3. So if you chose these lovely oranges, don't know why I said it like that. This is your pile. We are going to set the oracle cards up here for now, and we're going to start off with tarot. So this spread is called Your Next Episode, treating your life as if it were a TV show. So we're going to take a peek at what is going on in the next episode, which means the next major development, the next major event, the next thing that really feels like a thing, essentially. So we are starting off with your current energy. What is your current energy? That is 2 cards, but I'm going to take this one. Both of them were very heavy cards, and then there's the 3 of Swords that just peeked out. So it definitely feels like you are in a current state of loss. Feels like there's definitely some heavy energies. Let's see where we start off. Yep. Feeling really limited. Ooh, what you going through? My goodness. Can we please get one at a time? getting a sense of overwhelm, especially because multiple cards are trying to come out. This is the third reading, and the other two readings did not give me that problem. It was like a sense of overwhelm. And then we're getting one more for your energy at the end of this episode. Your energy after the fact. This is the card that wanted to come out. I don't like the way this came out. This is the card that wanted to come out along with this one. And the fact that it flew all the way over here makes me doubt. I'm going to set this on the side. We're going to keep it, but I'm not accepting that as your energy at the end of this. What is your energy at the end of this? Because it doesn't feel right. Okay. That feels like it makes more sense. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Strength card. This next episode is asking you to exert a lot of strength, a lot of self-control, a lot of self-reliance, it looks like. So we're starting off with the Five of Cups and the Five of Coins, both emotions or energies of change that is really difficult to deal with. States of feeling like you've lost something, you've lost opportunities, you've missed out, heavy energies. And then we go to the Eight of Swords, feeling really kind of stuck in your own mind and feeling like this feels like ruminating, wallowing, just not knowing how to break free from these heavy feelings over here. And then we go to the Seven of Wands, getting defensive and really kind of getting angry. This feels like it's going from internal blame to external blame. And then we have the Seven of Swords, which is definitely a feeling of self-sabotaging. Kind of, especially if you take a look at her with the swords over here, and this kind of feels like, oh, I'm just going to take, this feels like taking things people may have said or done and kind of like keeping them, holding on to them to weaponize them against yourself in a way. And yet there's this energy, this is kind of like the peak of it, right? And then there's this energy of wanting to see both sides and wanting to understand, like not being able to stand on stable ground and really wanting to though, like wanting to understand how can you make sense of these energies. And then we have the Queen of Cups, again, wanting to understand your emotional state, wanting to understand, it's wanting to understand, but it is also still holding on to feelings of the past. At the end of this cycle, we have the World, and it feels like literally the end of a cycle. This is what this card is, completing a cycle. It feels to me though like the end of a cycle, almost like in a load of laundry, like having gone for a spin and reaching the end of the cycle. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be done with this, but it does mean that this is a necessary journey. It's difficult, and like we saw, they're going to ask you to be strong. Let me see, where do I want to clarify? Let's get the Seven of Wands. Yeah, feeling defensive over your emotions. Feeling defensive perhaps over things that happen to you that aren't really spoken about. Let's get the Seven of Swords. So we have 2 5s here and 2 7s, by the way. Yeah, wanting to really... There's this sense of things that were said sticking to you, and really kind of getting angry because nobody else is dealing with them, but you're stuck with them, and trying to get to a point of being able to find your own voice, and instead of carrying all these things that people have said to you or someone specific has said to you, being able to find your voice to kind of like fight back, but then feeling unsure on whether you should or how to do it. Let's take a look. Let's get 2 coins. Yeah, this is like this feeling of like weighing your options of, is it toxic if I do this? Is it toxic if they do that? Not really kind of understanding. This feels really like not fully, like wanting to stand up for yourself, but not fully understanding your own emotions. It may be that you were previously at a point where you're really used to receiving very little from people and used to kind of putting up with a lot of things from other people. And so you don't actually know what is okay and what is healthy to receive from someone else. And so you're really being asked to take stock of, I don't think that in this, yeah, see, I love when this happens. I don't think that in this cycle, I think this is very much an indication that this is a cycle, and it's going to take, it's like, imagine going through, putting a really, really dirty shirt in the wash, and it's stained, and the first time it comes out, the stain is lifted a little bit, but it's still there. Imagine like a white shirt and there's a big old ketchup stain, and it's still there. The first cycle isn't going to get rid of that stain, but you're hoping it will, right? You throw it in the wash hoping the wash is just going to take care of it, and then it comes out, and then you notice there's still a residue, and now you have to do spot treatment, and now you have to figure out, okay, I need some stain remover. So it feels very much like this is just the first cycle of you kind of putting it in the wash and trying to figure out, like, this will work, right? But this is actually, the Hanged Man here with the Devil is really asking you to take stock of, how are you feeling? How are you feeling, and why are you feeling that way? And why are you feeling that way? And why is that? And why is that? And keep digging deeper on why. Why are you feeling this way? Why did this happen? Why did you let this happen? Why are you in a position that this happened? Why? Just keep digging. Every layer, every perspective that you can. This is asking you to really take stock. And this can feel like lingering and holding on to things, but it's different. This Queen of Cups is a very different holding on to things than this Eight of Swords. This Eight of Swords, you're just blindly accepting what you've been dealt and kind of like keeping yourself stuck. This queen can leave. She can set this cup aside. She's not setting it aside because she's very focused on figuring the situation out. But if you take a look at, we go from these troubled waters in the background to more calm waters here. And this queen is able to assess situations with maturity and with a calmness that is necessary to assess situations like this, so that then you can complete the cycle and then go in for the next round. Yep, justice. Justice came out for the Queen, like really balancing out, okay, how did I get here? How did I, and this is taking accountability, and the Queen of Swords is at the bottom, taking accountability, and also not letting the things that other people have dealt out to you, not letting that keep you stuck. Okay, I want to take a look at your oracle cards now. We have love your body. Love your body. So this can definitely have a lot to do with body image. So if you are really, really in this place of pain because of things that negative comments people have made about your body image, whichever way you present or appear in the world, and then getting defensive about it, but really still being emotional about it, and then possibly there's so many ways that you can like still like there's so many ways that you can feel defensive and get aggressive and kind of keep people's opinions at a distance, and yet we still take those things in subconsciously a lot. And especially with the way that the media has a standard for bodies and a beauty standard in general, like it's everywhere, it's plastered everywhere, and we take these things in subconsciously, so it's easy to kind of take those things in and hurt ourselves with them, along with the pain that we get from other people expressing opinions that we probably didn't ask of them. But also, loving your body doesn't necessarily have to be about body image. It can also just be about taking care of yourself and putting your needs ahead, like focusing on your physical needs while you are working through this emotional turmoil, because you're going through this, and like we saw, we had the strength card at the bottom of the deck at the beginning, and it's going to take you a lot of strength. So Spirit is asking you to nourish yourself, to take care of your body, because this emotional labor takes a lot of energy and it takes a toll on you. And if you don't take care of yourself while you're going through this cycle, it can drag it out if you're not taking care of your body at the same time. And then we have the Sun. And this is, I think, a beautiful reminder that the work that this takes is worth it. The Sun is the most positive card in the tarot deck, and also in this oracle card. Obviously, in this oracle deck, this is obviously a beautiful energy. And especially if we take a look at whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter. That we're working with female energy here, which you have feminine and masculine energy within you. So this is, because this has a lot to do with emotional pain, this is a lot of feminine energy that we're dealing with. If you take a look at the World card depicting this female figure, and then love your body, and we have this female figure, and then the Sun, and we have this female figure that is very like arms up, very victorious. So there's this energy of nourishing your body and praising your body, and the emotional labor that you are going through, and that you will probably have to cycle through a few times before you actually feel like you're making progress. It's absolutely worth it. And you're starting off here, and within just this next episode, you're already completing one cycle. Like, that is, not everybody gets through it. And that there's no time frame on this, so there's no saying like how long this takes, but typically these kind of readings that I do aren't like it's not going to be years, you know. It is a more immediate energy. So I think there's an ask here for you to focus on, oh, and I just realized that this orange is definitely representative for sacral energy, which also has a lot to do with feeling your body and enjoying your body, for sure. I want to take a look now. These are my emotion cards. I want to take a look now at what emotions you might need to be aware of so that you don't block yourself, or something that Spirit just wants you to focus on. Any kind of awareness in terms of emotions. And we have calm. And I think this is definitely relating back to the Queen of Cups, because we go from this very stressful energy to kind of like a state of confusion, and I think Spirit wants you to focus. And at the bottom of the deck I just saw we have acceptance. I think Spirit wants you to focus on calmness, possibly meditation, and this again speaks to bringing your body into awareness. Meditation is all about being present and aware in that exact moment and experiencing whatever situation you are in from a very physical perspective, and taking a break from the mental anguish. So Spirit is definitely asking you to, it's difficult to say like, just calm down. That's not necessarily it. Calming is definitely a lot of effort, and again takes a lot of strength, and Spirit is just wanting you to focus on calming and toning down your thoughts and your mind. Okay, we're going to get one more oracle card. Communication. If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think this has to do with finding support with these heavy thoughts that you're dealing with. And I get that I get the sense that you are feeling very alone and defensive in terms of when you try to reach out to someone, they might not quite get it. But this can also pertain to communicating with Spirit, communicating with your higher self, which again we do through meditation. And it can also have to do with seeking professional help and seeking professional support, meaning just having someone to talk to, just getting these thoughts out, so that sometimes it helps to get them out just so you can hear how harsh they really are, and the fact that you're holding that in, that these harsh things, they're like flying knives, and you're keeping it inside of your body, which is just really, really harsh. And letting that out can help you bring awareness to how much you're actually holding on to that you don't need to hold on to. It's ready to be released. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I want to offer you some compassion, because I know that what you're feeling right now is really isolating. But I do want you to know that you are on track. It's in your power to get through this cycle. And you just need a little bit of stillness and to really tone down your mind, and you'll work through this. Definitely. Again, we saw the strength card. You have the strength to get to this position, which is the Sun card. So I wish you the best of luck. I hope that this prepares you or confirms a few things for you. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you get through this.